Hey everyone, it's Rachel from Moments to Milestones. We're back with a Christmas card kit. This is the Spellbinders Christmas Blessings kit. We're going to create 3 cards featuring some of the newest Christmas release from Spellbinders. If you purchase a kit, you're going to get a picture of the 3 cards with instructions on how to put them together, as well as a list of the supplies we used on the cards. So we will go ahead and get started. So this first card here, May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And we use the Glimmer Hot Foil system to create this holly pattern, or holly paper here, and the sentiment as well. So what we're going to do is I glimmered onto watercolor paper, and we're going to use some distress inks. I have peeled paint, Rustic Wilderness, and I believe I used Barn Door. That is fired brick. Either way, you need a red and a couple greens. And I'm going to use a watercolor or a water brush pen, has water in it. And we're just going to watercolor this panel. All right, I'm going to give you a close-up on this panel that I colored previously. And hopefully it's not too shiny so I can kind of show you. But I used the dark green, the Rustic Wilderness, on all the holly leaves. So just straight up the holly leaves, I used that dark color. And then these little green leaves here that don't have lines in them, like here you can see they're smaller leaves, but they kind of have lines in the stems. These smaller ones that do not, I also used the Rustic Wilderness. Okay. And then on these smaller leaves with lines, there's like larger ones here and they're smaller. On the smaller, I used just peeled paint. And then on these larger leaves that kind of have both, I went in with peeled paint, and then I added Rustic Wilderness while it was still wet, like at the base, so it could kind of blend together. And then also, obviously, the red goes on the berries. So I'm going to go ahead and paint my panel, and then we'll come back and put it together. And I am just squishing the ink down onto a, what do you want to call it? It's a stamp box, okay? I'll put it under white so you can kind of see what I did there. So I just squished the color from the ink pad directly on there, and then I'm just going to use this to pick up my paint or my ink and color. So I'm going to start with, and what I like to do is I'm going to push the water, there's water in here, and get it started. And I'm going to go in, like I'm going to do this one first, and I'm going to put the water down first, and that will help so that when I do put the paint on, the water's not going to go, or the ink isn't going to go outside where I have that water. And see, when you drop it in, it just starts moving around in there. Now I probably got too much water, but it will dry. And you can go in with a paper towel and dab that up if you want. Even if you dry out your brush, you can kind of pull some of it and get it out. All right, and so then I'm just going to repeat that process. I'll let you watch a little bit, and then I'll probably either fast forward or just skip ahead. And the less water you use, the more concentrated your color is going to be. So it's also a good tip if you want it to be darker, less water is best. All right, I'm gonna interrupt to show you how I did this. I'm gonna lay down that peeled paint. I'm gonna clean out my brush. I'm gonna go in and grab some of the Rustic Wilderness and just drop it in there, and you can kind of see how it starts to blend on its own. So that's how I colored those big leaves. So go in with the peeled paint, and you probably don't have to clean off your brush in between right here. I'm just gonna go in, dot it in the Rustic Wilderness, and then clean it off and go back in again. All right, I have my watercolor panel colored. Just clean off my acrylic block. So that is good to go. You could take a heat tool and dry it off if you want. I'm just going to set it aside while I put together the rest of the cards. So you have this black cardstock you're going to put down onto your white card base. And then this piece is just going to get centered on there. And then you have your sentiment circle. That is going to go in the center, and I'm going to pop that up. And you can put it dead center. You could turn your card this way, which I might do this one this way for something different. And then that card is complete. If you wanted to give it a little bit something more, you could certainly maybe put some glitter on the berries, but I think the gold is really the star of the show here. So that card is finished. All right, our next card is this Christmas Blessings. So we are going to get all the pieces out. You do have the center. Most of you will have it on a little piece of blue, or it could be like still in the center with the tape behind it. So if that's the case, you just want to pull that off and set that to the side. And we are going to start. You should have a white circle. And we're going to glue that white circle to the back of this gold die cut. And what that's going to do is give us a spot to glue in all those red petals. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few dots here and there. But this should be just big enough that it's going to grab. There's a spot that everything will grab. So if we just put it in the center. And then we're going to put together this puzzle. There are 12 petals. So I'm just going to lay them out in front of me. Right side up. You can kind of tell there's detailed lines cut. You should be able to see those clearly. If you can't, it's probably upside down. And I'm going to get my pickup tool ready. And I am just going to put some glue in a couple of these and then go find the correct die cut. And that fits right in there. I think that looks like that. All right. And then that gold center, I'm going to go ahead and put that in too. That goes right in there in the center. It does have a little flat spot to help you line it up. All right. And there's just one little place there, but we're going to put foam on the back, so that will help hold it all together. You could certainly use something bigger here and then trimmed it down if you wanted, but I thought this worked out pretty good. I think it's this one. ready. All right, so just like that, you have a beautiful red poinsettia inside that gold outline. So I'm just gonna leave, I'll flip it over and I'm gonna put some foam on the back. I must be out of larger foam squares. I think I'm gonna use strips. So I'll just go across and that will help hold some of that in place. All right, I have put foam on the back of my poinsettia and I pulled all the backing off so it's ready to go, but we need to assemble the card first. So we are going to put down this white embossed panel onto our card base. You could pop it up if you wanted. I'm just gonna put it straight down. And we're just gonna center it. It will have a white border all the way around. And then we're gonna put this poinsettia right here in the center, or not to the center, it's going to be a little bit off to the right side of the card. Just like that. Press that down. And then we have our Christmas blessings. And so I'm going to need to put foam on this side of it because we want it to be level. You could put double foam on one side and foam on the whole thing if you wanted it to be up farther than your poinsettia. So we can kind of see, I think I'm going to put one at the bottom where blessings is at. Okay. So I'm going to remove the backing and then we'll put a little bit of glue on the part that's going to stick to the poinsettia so it all stays together. Put a little in here like so, and then this is just going to come off to the side. All right, if you can see on this card here, I used it's a little bit darker. When I hold it in the light, you can see the glitter, and we added some shading to that poinsettia. So I did that with this marker here, a Spectrum Noir Sparkle marker. It's red, I don't remember. Oh, Red Berry is the color. Now, be careful. This pen is leaking really bad. I don't know if I don't know what happened to it. So if you don't have something like that, maybe you just have one, this is a Nuvo, but there's other brands, Wink of Stella, just a glitter pen would also work here. And you could just go in and add the glitter to darken up the area. So I'm gonna use this one again, and you see it's just a little too inky. I don't really want to get it on that gold because I can't get it off. I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop. This pen would normally be great if this one wasn't. See, it's already all over my hands. Yeah, we're not gonna use that. I would definitely suggest Copics here or colored pencils if you wanted to add some shading, or it's perfectly fine on its own as well. So that finishes off that card. All right, this is our last card, Peace and Joy. And let's go ahead and start. We're going to put this tree together. So we're going to start, you have this white background piece and you have a gold outline. So we are going to glue the gold outline to the white. So that looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to punch out these pieces from this green tree and we're going to plug them in like so. So a little bit more paper piecing. I'm going to go in and put some glue in some of these. And just fit them in just like that. And these diamond pieces, if you punch them all out and then you're trying to put them back together, they do kind of have a right and a wrong. So if it's not fitting in, just flip it over. One side seems to be more curved than the other. The last one. All right, and then this you could save for another project. So set that off to the side. And we're going to flip this over and put foam on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave that aside for a minute. So we need to put the rest of our card together. So you have a white embossed panel. We're going to do just like we did last time. We're going to stick that down. So you have two options. You can have where the insides of the shapes are popped up or where the lines are popped up. This one I did the lines. I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the other side this time. And we're going to pop that up in the center as well. And so you can see, same embossing folder, just a little bit different look. And I'm going to pull the backing off the foam. Oops. And that is going to go in the center. And then you have this Peace and Joy and you have the green glitter. And we're going to glue the Peace and Joy. We're going to glue that green glitter behind it. So just going to lay like so, so that green shows through the letters. And it won't show through much, so. And it's glitter paper, so it doesn't want to stick right away. I'm going to put it on there and put something on top for a moment and let it secure. And then you have this glitter star. I'm also going to pop that up. I'm just going to need something thin for that. And I'm going to keep using that thin profile so everything matches up. Could use a thicker one too on this and then it would pop up more. It's up to you. Put that on top of the tree. And I think that's ready. So I also popped that up. So a strip here. And that is just going to go at the bottom of the tree centered, like so. All right, and that completes that card. All right, that completes this video, this card class. I hope you enjoyed these cards. If you're interested in a kit, we have a few left. This is the Spellbinders Christmas Blessings kit, and you can look for us on the web from momentstomilstones.com. Thanks so much for watching.